So recently, with the success of version 2.1 of Wuthering Waves, it spawned even more haters and even more people spreading misinformation about the game and pretty much hating on it. And well, this is just a usual thing to happen, obviously, because a lot of people were expecting Wuthering Waves to die out in the first couple of months, but hey, it's still here and it's doing better than ever before. And I just wanted to kind of unpick it, talk about what some of these haters' arguments are and how they're completely wrong and how delusional these people are, because I know a lot of these are baiting and a lot of these are rage baiting or whatever you want to call it, but if they're allowed to do that, then I'm allowed to make a video talking about how stupid they are, so we're going to be doing that all throughout this video. But before I get into it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go to Game Services, use my code CASA, get 21% off, because they've got a new event on at the moment where you can actually get 21% off rather than 10%. That only lasts for a week, so definitely go over there, check it out, and actually go use the code, because again, only a week, so you only have a limited amount of time. But let's get back into the video. So this was actually the tweet that I saw come out from Ryuku Sensei. If you don't know Ryuku, he makes a ton of really cool content, especially centered around what Japan thinks about a lot of gacha games, whether that's Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact and stuff. And more recently, he's been doing a lot of reviews and talking about his overall experience. You've probably seen his video on Honkai Star and how much he hated it and the storytelling in it, which again, I thought was a really good video, just explaining his entire viewpoint and what he thought about the game. But he actually released this tweet saying, first it was EOS on launch, then EOS in 6 months, then by 2.0. Now they can't even push it to 3.0, and they have to claim that we will EOS in 5.x because it's on such an upward trend, they can't see it EOSing anytime soon. How about you guys just shut up? Which again, is absolutely true. It comes from this tweet from someone called Siren or something. They say the difference is Wuthering Waves will EOS before we can hit the 5.x patch, and then it has a picture of the new character Cantarella, who actually got, teased earlier, and also the new character for Genshin Impact, Veressa, who also got teased, and there was a whole little drama that went down with that as well. And obviously that's completely true. There's been this whole sentiment of Wuthering Waves is EOS, which is just like completely stupid. And it's something that has gone around the community ever since the game first came out, and it's just like, okay, can we just stop this now? I feel like, we kind of proved that point here. But hey, some people on Twitter just don't know when to stop, and they keep on going, and yeah, now they think that it's going to EOS in the 5.x patch, which to be fair, is a pretty decent run, I would say. But again, they keep pushing back that date, they keep pushing back that version, saying, oh yeah, it's going to EOS at this point, when, it just never does. And, I think the whole, like, EOS thing is just stupid, Hardly any games EOS just because they make, a little bit less money. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But then, obviously, this spawned a lot of other people in the comments to actually weigh on this. Obviously, we've got Marco Meatball, who, does a lot of the kind of reaction stuff. I made a couple of videos on him over on my second channel. They say, what will these people do when their own game EOS is? It's worrisome, and I hope they get help, which again, yeah, is completely concerning. And then, yeah, Stick saying, and he's pretty much saying, whenever it inevitably ends of service one day, obviously, it will end of service one day, but probably not anytime soon. They'll be like, oh, told you, even if it's in like 5 years time or something like that, which again, it's absolutely crazy. And then obviously it baited a lot of other people to come over and make some comments, including this person here who said Wuwa has been losing revenue every month since it launched. Then it tried to relaunch in 2.0 and only made revenue equal to the second half of ZZZ's Miyabi Haramasa banner. Then they continue saying he is correct, it's not going to get to 5.x if it's going to keep bleeding money, which again, this is just a take that I keep hearing all the time from a lot of people who just don't know what they're talking about, saying that because it's losing revenue every month, it's going to be EOS. Now, if you've looked at the recent kind of revenue data and things like that, Wuthering Waves have actually been doing very, very good, and their revenue has actually been up ever since a lot of the kind of slower updates we had in the version 1.0 kind of era. Now, obviously, yes, money will go up, money will go down, but honestly, as the developers said, they don't care about the revenue. They just care about making a good game. And honestly, as long as they're making enough to keep it going, they will keep going and they will keep trying to make the game even better, which I think is a great thing for the devs and for the players. But also, it shuts down any of these points, so this person just ends up looking stupid. Now, obviously, he continues saying, worry about beating Naruto Mobile, bro, before comparing yourself to the king, which again is kind of crazy. Then they put a little screenshot of the Gacha Revenue chart, which is the new one, not the old one. So again, a lot of this information is inaccurate, and a lot of the revenue data is inaccurate. Not saying that even matters for Wuthering Waves in the first place, but the thing is, in the screenshot, it's actually gone up 17 places, which I find kind of funny because they're saying it's doing bad, but it's gone up 17 places and it's stood higher than Zelda Zone Zero, a Hoyo game, which again, I think is a pretty good thing. Obviously, yes, games like Naruto Mobile and stuff like they've mentioned are doing really good, but that's because they're also really popular games. And I think that, Wuthering Waves making this amount of revenue, they were at 7.7 million last month apparently, and now it's gone up by 21 million. That's a massive, massive, massive deal. And then Ryuku actually responds to this saying, I suppose McDonald's have the best burgers in the world because they sell the most then, huh? And then this person says, how else are you going to measure which is better? It has more downloads, it has more awards, it has more players, and it has more revenue. game does something good equals people like it. People like something equals it becomes popular. Now, again, I don't really see that. Obviously, you know, there is a difference between a game being good and a game making a lot of revenue. It definitely all comes down to the kind of predatory practices on the banner, and you can even see it through this screenshot that they provided here. You can see Love and Deep Space is one of the top games. They have a very predatory kind of gacha system, and the same goes for Genshin Impact as well. They actually introduced a very predatory gacha system in that kind of update that they made $99 million, and that was the banner where they actually introduced Mavwika and also Sitlily on the same one, and obviously the money went up because people wanted both of those characters. And you can see, you know, a lot of it is due to these predatory practices, as well as Honkai Star as well. You know, obviously they've got that second banner where you can actually get like multiple of the older ones on the reruns, which again, it's all down to the way that they market the banners, and often it's nothing to do with the actual game itself. You know, it's more to do with the characters and the banners and everything like that. Now, obviously Ryuku said if they were both released at the same time under the same conditions, you might have a point, but they weren't, so you don't. They say then compared to Zelustan, the revenue of wuwa is still consistently below Zelustan 0. What's the excuse now? Which again is just a completely dumb thing because the screenshot literally shows that it's above it, but hey, we just won't talk about that. I don't think Ryuki even brings it up. And he says, Zelus is a pretty good game now since 1.4, so I don't have any issues. If I were going to say anything about its revenue previous to that, I'd say that it's been carried hard by the Hoyo buff and copious amounts of goonery. But like I said, it's a good game, so I don't care. And that's exactly true. Zelus is a very good game, and they definitely deserve a lot of the revenue that they've been making. They say the Hoyo buff argument is copium that people created to justify wuwa not doing well. Love and Deep Space, Nikkei, Girls Fight Line 2, Monster Strike aren't Hoyo games, but all competing with Genshin. When Genshin launched, people didn't know Hoyo's name. Honkai Impact 3rd was obscured. Now, obviously, it's kind of true, you know, you doesn't have to be a Hoyo buff, but the fact that the Hoyo buff is there is still true. Now, he says like games like Nikkei and Girls Fight Line 2 are competing. Again, then they're not in this screenshot, so their point is completely invalid there. And then obviously they say Love and Deep Space is a completely different game. Nikkei has been out for years. Monster Strike is one of the earliest gacha games, and Girls Fight Line 2, I didn't even see that in the revenue charts you posted. Seems like it's doing less than wuwa. And just so you know, I never give about a game how much they're making and stuff like that, which again is completely true, and I agree with Ryuka there. The revenue just doesn't really matter anymore. I feel like a lot of people did get very hung up on the revenue, and you know, it's partially a lot of my fault and other creators' faults for covering it so much and making such a big deal out of it, because you have people like this who believe it like it's the Bible and end up just like going absolutely crazy whenever it doesn't make like 100 million or something like that, which is just so stupid. And obviously it seems like a lot of these people still exist on the internet that are just kind of pushing this whole thing about the revenue and about how it's the be all and end all if they don't make enough. No, okay, if the game is doing good and the game is popular, especially in terms of search terms, you know, downloads, everything like that, because there's a lot of people that are free to play players and everything like that, well, you know, that's really good for the game, and I feel like the game can continue to grow and people will continue to play it, and the revenue just doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But hey, you know, I just wanted to point out that idea in the comment, and also, you know, some of these kind of points that people were bringing up, which are just so stupid. And again, people say that Wuthering Waves isn't one of the most hated gacha games out there. Well, you know, even more proof, you know, this got 88,000 views on Ryuku's Twitter, so again, it blew up pretty massively, and people are not very happy at all. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go to Games Hubs. As I said, they got 21% off as an event at the moment, so go over there, check it out right now, don't miss it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.